to speak out, and we need to fight to protect our rights and freedoms. What Republicans are doing right now is just the beginning. If we don't stop them here and now. Make no mistake, this blatant, egregious attempt to dismantle our democracy is straight out of the playbook of succession. This is far too familiar for the state of Texas because remember, the state of Texas was the last state to free the slaves. I'm going to say that again. The state of Texas was the last state to free the slaves. We must remind the GOP, I'm going to say that again, we must remind the GOP, starting with Governor Abbott, that Texas is not a country of its own. Texas is part of a larger body that is called America. We, the Texas Coalition of Black Democrats and the Texas Rainbow Push Coalition believe these acts of suppression, sedition, insurrection, obstruction must be confronted by multicultural and politically diverse coalition that brings the civility and the restoration of civil and human rights. We also stand unified as leaders who are speaking truth to power. We must lift our voices, take it to the streets if need be, and start a moral resurrection to reclaim the soul of our nation. And I'm going to leave you all with this. We have to drain the swamp of racist alligators. You understand me? We got to drain the swamp, people. And Governor Abbott, all of you GOP folks, if you see me right now, I want you to understand something. We're not playing with you. I want you to understand, we're not going nowhere. The Texas Coalition of Black Democrats, Rainbow Push Coalition, we are stand fast, and we're going to fight for our civil liberties, and you not taking nothing. Fight the power. Stand loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Thank you. I am somebody. I am somebody. All right, thank you.
All right, Dr. Kim. I do want to say this in all fairness. Anybody that know me know I am a huge critic of law enforcement. I just think it's something that we don't need. However, I do want to give a shout out to the men over there that's protecting us for practicing our First Amendment rights. I think that's just fair. Up next is my big brother and mentor in this. He came all the way from the country with a twisted knee. He showed me a picture of his knee in a brace this morning, probably chasing bulls or something. But I want to bring up Brother Robert Williams from Push Democracy Forward. Come on, brother. And also, while he's stumbling up here, I want to shout out Representative Cheryl Cole from House District 46. I will say this, she was in D.C. and she would still be in D.C. if some of her colleagues didn't come back to Texas. I'll say that.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Robert Williams. I'm the organizing director for Push Democracy Forward, and I want to thank Chaz Moore. It's such an honor to be here with him and the Next Generation Network and my friends from Pure Justice and a lot of other organizations that are here today that will do exactly what our title is, and that is to push democracy forward. Say that with me. Push democracy forward. Push democracy forward. And let me tell you something, we're going to have to do a little bit more than push.
What a fun dance!
It's time to fight now.
Show you right.
Because we are in the battle for our lives. And let me explain that to you. I want to read you a little something from the 1861 Texas Ordinance of Secession. Since those folks up in there don't want to tell us the whole truth about our history, they don't want to tell us the whole truth about Texas. They don't want to tell you the whole truth about why we went to the Civil War and why we are having to do what we're doing today. It reads, we hold as undeniable truths that the governments of the various states and of the Confederacy itself were established, get this part, exclusively by the white race for themselves and their posterity. Hold on. That the African race had no agency in their establishment, that they were rightfully held and regarded as inferior and dependent race. And in that condition only could their existence in this country be rendered beneficial or tolerable. It ends this way. That in this free government, all white men are and of right ought to be entitled to equal civil and political rights, that the servitude of the African race as existing in these states, can't believe they put this in here, is mutually beneficial to both bond and free. It wasn't beneficial to us. And is abundant, get right, I can't believe they put this in here. And is abundantly authorized and justified by the experience of mankind and the revealed will of the Almighty Creator. They said that God wanted us to be slaves. That is the Texas Ordinance of Secession. That is why Texas seceded from the Union to join the Confederacy for a whole goddamn war to oppress and suppress one race of people in order that they can maintain a white majority. You see where I'm going now? Because we still in this war. We are still fighting for those same things as they are. They have took us to war over the critical race theory bill so that we can't teach correct history in this country, in this state. They've taken us to war over a bail bill, and it's not a bail reform bill, it is a bail industry bill that favors the cash bail system that is going to lock up more black and brown people.
Fuck that.
They've taken us to war over a voter suppression bill that seeks to do nothing more but to suppress and oppress people of color and the disabled. And then they took it a step further. And now they're going to war against our women to legislate your bodies. All in an attempt to maintain a white majority. All in an attempt to oppress and suppress the voices of people of color. So we're in a war. And it's only two things that you do when you're in a war. You can either lay down and die, or you can rise up and fight. You can lay down and die, or you can rise up and fight. And I can tell by this crowd, we gonna fight. We're not on a battlefield with no guns and hand grenades, but we gonna get out there and register some people. We're gonna engage some people. We're gonna educate some people. We're gonna knock on some doors. We're gonna knock on their doors. We ain't here for this fight, but you gotta rise up. Say that with me today. Rise up. Rise up. Rise
having these kind of speakers, I ain't gonna have to speak at the end. Next up is another brother of mine, and he's just an all-around good dude, man. And he was gonna handle that whole situation a lot differently than these troopers did. But he's a stand-up guy from the East Coast. I know he's gonna bring some truth to power. Is my big brother Quincy Dunlap, President CEO of the Austin Area Urban League.
To the last brother who was the speaker, I need you to put that piece of knowledge in my inbox, because we're going to replicate and distribute that. If that don't get your energy worked up to fight against oppression, then you need to leave. I'm going to start out by saying I have the privilege and honor of serving Austin and Central Texas as the president and CEO of the Austin Area Urban League. I don't work. I get to live in my purpose, and my purpose is to see God's people delivered from an oppressor and from a destroyer, one who intends to consume a righteous way of life. So what we need to do now is focus. How in the hell can they restrict a woman's right to decide? It is unconscionable to think that anybody would vote for that legislation. It is not my decision as a man or as a leader to tell you what you can do with your body. You have the right to decide. You have the right to decide. It is not about pro-life or pro-choice. It is about understanding that that sister may have to make certain decisions in that moment about her body and about her life. And you do not have the decision, you do not have the authority to tell her, you gotta do it the way I said it because I'm in charge. To hell with that. Let's talk about critical race theory.
Let's talk about it.
The acquisition of knowledge and truth scares your oppressor. It scares him to his core, to her core.
Show you right.
Because they vote a certain way. Critical race theory is not about us forcing blackness on anybody in any academic or public institution. It is about understanding how the laws have intersected with race, inequality, racism, and oppression in this country. Don't be deceived by the information that they put out to tell you what critical race theory is. Understand what it isn't, and then fight for what it is. Fight for it to be in those institutions, because damn the history, the story needs to be told the right way about the establishment and the sustaining of this country. And it is done on the backs of the less fortunate, the homeless, the marginalized, the non-whites, the poor whites, the veterans that they don't take care of,
Fuck yeah.
who shed blood, sweat, and tears for this country.
Goddamn right.
The mentally ill. Get up off your duffs and start to fight in the right way. Don't let them tell you that critical race theory is about forcing blackness on other people in education situations. It is not. That is a lie, also known as an alternative fact. Why do we need to discuss bail reform? It is another way to oppress people who don't have access to financial resources to start with. This state has done a piss poor job of economic equity. If I get locked up, I can pay the damn bail. But some of my brothers and sisters who are economically disadvantaged, regardless of their skin color, who just happen to be mostly black and brown, it is a way to keep you caged up from establishing yourself as a good citizen.
Fuck yeah.
Bail reform. I want you to research it. And I want you to dive into it the same way with that damn critical race theory lie. It is a way to keep our brothers and sisters with black and brown skin from voting. I want you to tie it back to voting. If they can keep us out of the polls, they can maintain authority. When I say they, I mean the conservatives who practice economic and social conservatism. They want to constrict and restrict you. We the people will not be constricted or restricted to live in a high quality of life. When I say we the people, y'all say we the people. We the people will fight for our right to live a high quality of life. We the people will not restrict a woman's right to choose. We the people will not impose economic oppression in the form of high bail or cash bail.
Shit's already high.
Now let's talk about this voter suppression for a little bit. I am enraged that we, as a voting society, do not understand what is at stake. This is more than just about elections. Elections is a small portion of it. This is about economics, my brothers and sisters. This is about controlling the cash and the non-cash resources that impact our quality of life. This is about ensuring that a group of elites have a status above everybody else, regardless of skin color, regardless of economic social status. We have to fight against this voter suppression. And the way we do that is by registering, and by showing up to the polls, and by being knowledgeable about issues and candidates. The knowledge piece is the most serious piece. We cannot sit back and allow the conservatives to push forward information that is inappropriate and misdirected. We are being misinformed. It's like what they run over at that stadium, the misdirection. You can't run it on us. You cannot run that play on this society in Texas. We have access to more information than ever before. So let us access it and let us consume adequately the right information so that we are informed when we go to the polls. Do not allow your voting rights to be stripped away. And finally, I'll say this. This the Urban League team. This the Urban League family, I should say. Chaz is my brother. You all are my brothers and sisters. If we do not work together, we are easily defeated. Let us come together. This hand is weaker than this fist together. Let us be the fist of a righteous cause to defeat all conservative, oppressive mindsets. I love y'all. Go vote.
Two more shout outs. I want to give a shout out to the accountability chair from Montgomery County, Miss Angie over here under the tent. Also, and I can't let him speak, but the representative that was our sponsor for this event, Representative Ron Reynolds from Houston, thank you for putting your name on this event. But we not having no politicians speak today because they on trial against the people of Texas. And he ain't guilty, but he's guilty by association. Up next, it's this I think young group, relatively new. Y'all been around for a while? Anyway, they from my hometown, the great city of Beyonce, in this great state of Beyonce, in this great state of Selena. We got Brother Greg Norwood and Sasha Leggett from Pure Justice.